holy whoa! Hi everyone! So today I am going to do a video that has been long awaited, the differences between Finland and the UK, and in particular Scotland. So just keep in mind these are my own personal observations. The first thing I noticed here was when I was moving in, I was moving into, X floor. How they, mark the floors is kind of a different system. The one that you walk into is called ground floor. So then when you go up the stairs, it's first floor. And then second floor, like that, it's ground, first, second. Growing up, I've always, referred to floor that you walk into as the first floor. Yeah, it's kind of like the Finnish time system where, puolkaksi and 2:30 are not the same thing. So yeah, it's kind of like you have to think for a moment before, and you're like, okay, which country am I in and how is it done here? And so yeah, I've had to adjust my thinking a little bit in terms of that. They drive sitting on the right side of the car, and obviously that causes a lot of problems because since I was a very young girl, it's been drilled into you to always look left, right, left. But here, there are signs literally on the road in the tourist areas to look right, people, look right, because you're gonna get hit by a car otherwise. Having to, suppress that, instinct to automatically look left as you are walking, taking a step across the street, no. But that was something I expected. That was something I knew was different already over here. But the thing that surprised me more is that when you're just walking along and you're used to seeing, driving, like people driving on the left side, now they're on the right, so that when you're, walking down the street and like you see a little kid or a dog even, I've seen dogs sitting, on the left, passenger side of the car here. And it takes me a second to realize that they're not actually driving the car because I'm like, holy whoa. Okay, another difference here, at least in Edinburgh, you need exact change for the buses. I find that very frustrating because who has a lot of extra change that you kind of just have because I'm in student housing, so we have to, save our £1 and £2 and 50-cent coins for laundry. If you don't have a bus card, you need the exact cash, whereas in Finland, most people have a bus card there anyways. But even if you didn't have the exact change, you can give them a higher note and they'll give you, change back. And then also something very interesting that I saw here. I know my building is a older house and I don't think the newer buildings have this, but there's this 2-tap system here. And I had never seen this before coming here. There's not just one tap where, you can get hot and cold water. There's actually 2 separate taps, one for the cold water and one for the hot. I actually haven't figured out how you're supposed to wash your hands because the hot one is really, really hot and it kind of burns your hand. And the cold one is pretty cold. So I kind of just go like this and then kind of splash in the cold for a bit and then just quickly go into the hot one like that. I'm not exactly sure what the technique used is supposed to be, but I found that very interesting because I had never seen that before. Another thing I find really interesting here is that when I came here, there is a lot of certain phrases that people use all the time. One of them, for example, is that they say sorry for literally anything. You'll be passing by and something will be my fault, I'll bump into someone by accident and they're the one that start apologizing to me, and I'm like, it's my fault, you don't have to apologize. And it's just a reaction that they have, it's innate for them to just, anything that happens, to just say sorry about it. So yeah, I hear that all the time, whereas in Finland, sometimes you'll bump into someone and they'll not say anything, or maybe they'll say oho, or sometimes maybe they'll say anteeksi. But yeah, most of the time you try and just ignore each other and move on your separate ways. But here it's the automatic, oh, sorry, and then, move on. And then the other one is cheers. So when you open the door for someone, they all say cheers. And for me, cheers used to be kind of how do you say, kippis in Finnish? When you're toasting something and you have your drinks, you'd say cheers. Here it's kind of like a thank you. Okay, and the final point I'm going to mention in this particular video is the different tea and the coffee culture. Yeah, so basically Britain is a much more tea oriented culture, whereas Finland is so much more coffee orientated in their culture. In Britain, tea is drank about 165 million cups daily, or 60.2 billion per year, compared to only the 70 million cups of coffee that they drink. And apparently Finland has the highest consumption of coffee worldwide, with every individual, if you average it out, supposedly drinks about 12 kilos of coffee per person per year, which is an incredibly huge amount if you think about it. And in Finland too, you know, your breaks during like work, for example, when I was working, you know, they'd call the short, you know, 5 or 10 minute breaks in between every hour, they'd call them, you know, coffee breaks. So people would, you know, have a quick cup of coffee, and I know people drink, you know, their morning coffee, and coffee is just a really big thing kind of ingrained in the Finnish culture. But yeah, those were just some initial observations that I made when I actually came to live here. So yeah, if you have any quirky things you can think of that people in the UK do, or some kind of tips, you know, that you think I should be aware of living in the UK, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. And yeah, I guess that just about concludes this video. So till next time.